I'm just super happy that episode 1 was a complete success.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you for the love and support that we have received. There was so much love and feedback from everyone.
Definitely.
Yeah, so let's dip into episode 2.
Episode 2.
But before we begin our actual topic today, I did want to give our condolences and du'as to the people, the Muslims that were affected by the New Zealand massacre shooting by a terrorist. And we as Muslims should all unite during these times like this to understand that we are one ummah and what affects one affects all. And so we wanted to give a special dua to those victims and anyone affected by it, because us sitting here today, nowhere near New Zealand, but we are affected by it. To give our dua and to give our, gratitude to Allah.
What we want for our brother, what we want for ourselves, what was it? What we want for our brothers, we want for ourselves.
Absolutely.
So,
And no one deserves to be killed in any shape or form, no matter, what you believe. And to think that they were in, the house of Allah, the house of peace, and someone came in there and disrupted, really hurts my heart and hurts my soul.
All of us, absolutely.
It's like, where can you find peace if you can't find it in the comfort of
the house of Allah?
The house of Allah.
Right, and that's the message that they was trying to give us. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Definitely. Jay, you have a dua?
Yeah, so let's make it
Bow our heads.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Allah is most great, mightier than all his creation. He is mightier than what fear and dread. I seek refuge in Allah, who there is none worthy of worship but him. He is the one who holds the 7 heavens from falling upon the earth except by his command. From the evil of your slaves and his helpers, his followers and his supporters, from among the jinn and mankind. O Allah, be my support against their evil. Glorious are your praises and mighty is your patronage. Ameen.
And also we ask Allah to forgive the sins of the people that he killed, to give their family ease, Ameen, to give them light and space in their graves, Ameen, to give them Jannah with no intercession, Ameen. We ask Allah that he have mercy on all of us and protect all of the Muslims in our future endeavors. Allahumma Ameen. Ameen.
Thank you guys for that.
Like tears in my eyes.
Right.
It does, but we do have a topic that we are going to
Today's
discuss today.
topic.
On a lighter note.
The infamous.
The infamous.
This is a hot topic. This is
Yes.
something heavily requested. Marriage. Woo!
Oh God, everybody needs to know about.
No, for real, on a brighter note, I don't know, I feel like it's such a controversial topic, not only in the Muslim community, but in the non-Muslim community as well, because it's like every time we mention, or anytime not like one of our family members or something, we say, oh, we're getting married, it's looked down upon, and it seems as though we're forcing the next step in life, and like forcing ourselves to just go ahead and dip right into marriage without finding our own mental stability and our own mental happiness, and spiritual wise as well, before we actually dip into that huge step, marriage,
So how do we prepare for marriage? That's a question we get all the time, even non-Muslims, because do you know that dating and courtship is different the way we do it. So it's always just like, what are the steps we take, or what are the do's and don'ts of courtship and prepare for marriage?
Right, it's very important.
Definitely. But being that marriage is such a broad topic, we were able to somewhat boil it down to a couple.
To the most requested.
To the most requested topics.
From you guys and everything you were asking us to kind of discuss, because as you know, it's so much.
And we definitely appreciate your feedback. We got a lot of feedback from our personal Instagrams, and then the group Instagram, and we heard you, we saw you, so we're delivering for you guys.
Right.
Attempt to, inshallah. And we're going to try to really stick by the book with hadith and sunnah of the Prophet, peace be upon him. So, if anything has been taken or is wrong, that's from us, because Allah is perfect, and Allah knows best. We try to get it right for you.
Right. We definitely, you know, we prepared ayats and hadiths that we're gonna talk about, and then if you hear anything from, you know, our opinions, we're more so talking about just how it, you know, affects us personally. But, you know, of course, anything that we're stating that's a part of the sunnah, we're gonna, you know, make clear of.
Correct.
Inshallah. So, amongst those subtopics, we have arranged marriages. We have the cultural differences when it comes to, I guess, as far as finding a spouse, not of your ethnicity, your cultural background. And we have the proper etiquette of courtship. That's going to be a funny one because yeah, we'll dig into that. And we have another one, kind of a famous one that I feel like would be very I don't know.
Controversial?
Yeah, somewhat, because it's like, in a sense, us women, we have our own opinion regarding it, and then the men would have another opinion regarding it. For us personally, so basically the topic is why Muslims can't find good brothers. And you know, we could list a couple of
put it out there.
Right? But then the brothers would be like, "Oh no, it's y'all sisters, it's y'all."
But it's usually the opposite. So we're usually
that's biased.
That's biased.
But what is your opinion on that for you guys? Like, why do you feel, for those who aren't married, like myself, it's so difficult to find a potential brother for marriage? Like,
I feel as though, you know, one thing I always give advice to, because me, you know, someone who is looking to get married soon, you know, don't limit yourself to where you look or what you're looking for. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we have a preconceived notion of what we want, we think we want, and what we ask Allah for, as opposed to asking Allah for what's best for us. You know, because really, if you've never been married or if you really don't know, you don't know what's really best for you.
But see, that's the thing. That's the thing with me. Like, I was previously married, so being that I'm not married anymore, I know what I want, what I don't want, what I like, and what I don't like. So I mean, of course, I still have the mindset as far as, you know, being accepting and being open-minded as far as allowing Allah to guide me and, you know, not be so, I don't know how to say this. And not like
specific.
Not be
but
so
also you need to have your back.
Right. So, I know exactly what you mean.
So it's like, okay, for instance, if I want a brother who is educated, who has a this is just as an example.
This is what you want.
No, it's right. No, I'm just saying as an example. If I wanted a brother who was educated with a PhD, who was deaning as well, who had this going for himself, this and that, and all of the above, and it's like, okay, what can I? If he doesn't have a certain thing that I don't like, what can I like? What can
what can you compromise?
Yeah, what can I compromise, basically? And it's like, okay, do I want to compromise? Do I want to push him to the side and be like, okay, no, I'm gonna find a brother who has all of this,
Definitely.
you know? Or
I think the best thing to do when you're looking and trying to, you know, decipher your list on your importance in a spouse, you decide on, you know, what's most important to you, and also know that if it's something that you're not really interested in or really don't like, don't think your dislike for it is going to change in a marriage. Sometimes people get into a marriage thinking, oh, if he has this or if she has that, maybe you know, later down the line I might, you know, be okay with it. You going into it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Allah knows best. You might want to put your trust in Allah and say, I'm gonna make dua on it, but you'll resent yourself if you don't ever, you know what I'm saying, accept it. Because you're going to say, I didn't really like this from the beginning.
Right, and that's where the importance of dua and the importance of really putting your trust in Allah comes in.
Absolutely.
Because if you don't do the proper steps and, you know, getting to that marriage, you know, if you start out haram, is it ever going to, I mean, it could possibly become halal, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, permissible versus, you know, not permissible, you know, for those who don't know the language just yet. But, you know, that's where the steps of courtship come in. So I feel like we should, you know, talk about like the steps that we do. So there was this website that I pulled up about the do's and don'ts of, courtship. And one of them was, when you start out, make sure you have that clear, correct intention.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, this is serious.
Yes.
We're not coming here for play. We're not coming here to waste anybody's time.
Okay.
And especially if you have parents and family involved, you need to come, correct.
Right.
So you need to make sure you have that conversation with yourself to be like, Allah, if you're a man or you're a woman, I want this brother or I want this sister, and I'm gonna, inshallah, do right by her, and I would like to marry her. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely. And I think that attests to, the person's intentions and how serious they are. So if you have someone who you might be interested in, male or female, and you decide, okay, well, I don't mind meeting their family. I don't mind, making intentions to do the correct thing.
Right.
And if you're anything other than that, is your intentions good? You know what I'm saying? That can kind of decipher that.
That's another thing. I have like a narration that speaks on as far as intention and the main 4 reasons as to why you would choose to marry a spouse.
Right.
It was narrated by Abu Hurairah. A woman is married for 4 things: her wealth, her family status, her beauty, and her religion. So basically, I feel like a lot of the times people seem to be like, okay, well, she has deen, so I'm going to marry her anyway, regardless of me being attracted to her or her, her having wealth or anything like that. Like, they'll limit themselves.
Of course, deen is number 1 because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, between those 4 things, marry the righteous. Marry the righteous, right? So that should be the most important to you. But in this world that we live in, there's other essentials, and that being the most important, you still have to, figure out what's the other important things that comes right up under there. You know what I'm saying? Because, Allah dislikes divorce. You don't want to end in divorce, right? So you want to go into it as best as possible. You want to go into it with the best intentions and, try to get the best outcome from it.
Right. Like, you can be righteous, but if you don't have a job, you can't,
Right.
provide as the man that you're supposed to provide.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
Like, don't just be like, okay, he has deen, but look at the bigger picture.
There are other
Look at
things.
reality.
Facts,
Can he provide for you? Can he provide for your future family as well?
Can he provide for you emotionally? You know what I'm saying? He's going to be there for you.
Keep that same energy as you did in the beginning.
But them
Keep that
emotions,
same energy.
with them
Yes.
emotions too, yeah, for sure.
Right.
Sometimes, what they say, the spark dies. You know what I'm saying? Try not to let that die. And you know what I'm saying? Just try to be there for each other. But then also what we were talking about with, what you're marrying for, health. Wealth, of course, is important, but at the same time, you ask Allah to make it easy on you. So if you have a situation which is livable and, something that is okay for you to join, that's one thing. But if it's something that's presented to you that you just know that you're not okay with, you're not okay with it. You know what I'm saying? You can't fake it. You know what I'm saying?
There was I don't remember where I read this at, and I wish I did. I wish I knew, but please correct me if I'm wrong. There was something that I read, and it was saying how when a man marries a woman, he is supposed to welcome her into, or make her level of comfort the same as her comfortability where she was when he removed her from her parents' home. So basically, if her parents have her in a stable environment and everything like that, and she's used to a certain way of life, then he should
present
still
that to her.
Right. And I feel like a lot of people try to, every situation is different. You can't really judge off of every situation. But some people kind of rush into marriage thinking that that's going to be like, fix every issue that you have or going to, marriage for some people can be freedom. Again, it depends on the situation. But I feel like as a man and as a woman, you should try to get your part together, within yourself, whether it's with your faith, finances, education, before you try to enter a marriage. Now, some people can, start from the bottom and now we're here type of situation, but that is
that's pretty rare.
Rare, far and in between.
Yeah, it happens.
It really just depends.
Right,
it really just depends.
Right. It happens a lot, but
it doesn't matter where you start in a marriage. Before you get married, make sure you have yourself, you fix a few things about yourself first, so you make sure that you're okay, maybe emotionally, Islamically.
You deal with your trauma.
Right, exactly. Don't go into no
yeah,
marriage.
because the marriage will not fix it.
Right.
And
people,
then, and also go ahead.
No.
And then also I read where, this is just a marriage article where I read where sometimes people get into marriage and they're hoping that their spouse can be that, you know what I'm saying?
That fixer.
They can be, the healer, and you're going into a marriage wanting your spouse to heal something that he might, or she may not can heal.
Right.
So it's an expectation that he can't fulfill.
I was telling my Umi the other day, I was like, you know what? I'm at a point in life where I want to travel, and I want to be mentally, physically, and financially stable and happy with myself, So that way when I do find a spouse, I want us to be able to live life together and to be able to enjoy that together,
Absolutely.
And
That's
I don't want to,
thing.
even though my husband is supposed to be my provider and everything, but at the same time,
That's you. My king, go ahead, say it.
Because you're the queen.
but no, that's it though. But I still want to be. I still want to have.
Your own.
Yeah, I want to be secure
and that's okay.
Have a foundation of my own.
Absolutely.
That way, we both can build from that together.
Right, and that's definitely frowned upon because they want us to get married so young. And again, it depends on your situation, but it's so rushed to get into marriage, especially for us young Muslims. It's all just like, you graduate high school and it's like, you're not married yet? Like, what's up? And I'm just like,
and I feel like that's a problem. It's like, it's almost like you're forced to be like, all right, I need to get married as soon as you graduate.
Right.
And it's like, I have so many, friends, or I know so many young women who, like, as soon as they graduate, they're like, I need to get married now.
Like,
or they're
up?
like, looking before they're good emotionally, before they dealt with their traumas, before, they even know how to pray correctly, make them do correctly.
Right.
Do you know what hijab means? Just certain things that you need to deal with,
most important things too.
The important things, like getting yourself together before you think about having a mate or having, a soul.
Bring another person into your space.
Into your space.
Right, and that, I'm sorry. Jinx. And that kind of brings us into one of the questions one of our viewers asked about premarital counseling and why is it foreign in the Black Muslim community. And that definitely goes into, talking about, having yourself emotionally together. Like, you can be engaged and have that courtship process. We're not telling you to go away from that until you get yourself all the way ready. You can, get yourself ready during that process, I feel like. And so that's when premarital counseling, you can come in and have somebody sit you both down and be like, what's up? Like, what y'all trying to do?
What are your plans?
What's your
definitely someone outside of the family, someone who is
close to the both of you.
Yeah,
or a licensed psychologist.
No, someone who's not like on your side or on your side.
Right,
who's gonna
a
be
third
on the
party.
outside,
Right.
and tell you, and also that not only is that good, it also brings out topics that you probably wouldn't normally discuss. You know what I'm saying? I've definitely heard of stories where some people were in marriage counseling and the counselor said something. He was like, "We need to talk about that." So why not have someone bring in, and open up your mind to things that you might not have.
And then they were talking about why is it so foreign to the Black Muslim community. I really feel like because it's lack of knowledge. Like, honestly, before that question, I didn't even really think about it. Like, I didn't really think about maybe I should get someone to sit us down and really have a clear-cut conversation to be like, how are we going to do this? How we do this right way? What's your traumas that you haven't dealt with? Or, opening that space to be able to, live and start something positive and prosperous, inshallah. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely,
and I can definitely relate to this whole situation because I'm intended, and we actually had a situation where we actually needed counseling, and we got one of our closest Muslim married couple, and we sat down all of us, and we had like a little three-way, and we just discussed certain things that needed to be discussed because it was like some things that we had, but it definitely helped. Like, it's nothing wrong with counseling. There's nothing wrong with like you said, having a third person, because you definitely going to recognize different things that you didn't recognize between each other, and they're gonna see it, and they were a married couple, so they definitely was like, oh yeah, we've been through this,
and even before the premarital counseling, have counseling for yourself,
have
counseling for yourself, and then once you all good,
Yes.
everybody's not gonna, no one is gonna be perfect or
Yes.
completely
Right.
polished.
Of course.
You're always gonna have
A
something
flaw.
that you need to fix.
Right.
A flaw, we all do.
Mhm.
But have that personal counseling. Then when you're ready, when you find somebody, you can have that premarital counseling. And even when you are married, even when you get married, still have counseling. Even if everything is okay, it's okay to have counseling because some things are gonna come out the box that you didn't even think about.
Right.
Absolutely.
Tell Brett.
There was something that you guys had asked us to speak about. It was like regarding our husband being more like understanding the love language between one another.
Right. That was a really good question.
Yeah.
And it's like sometimes the counseling, sometimes the counseling allows you guys to open up, and it allows you all to speak up and actually say things that you might not have said once before. Like
Right.
your husband may be willing, or he may feel comfortable to be like, "Babe, you really look beautiful today, and I just want to let you know I appreciate you, and I'm happy that we're here." But you can sit down and just have this. You discuss certain things, and
Right.
whatever is your concern, just bring it to my attention. Like,
Right.
let a man say that to me. That'll really have me like, okay, husband.
Okay.
All right.
And she likes compliments.
Right.
And also, at the same time, I think that we are truly fortunate, living in Atlanta. We have some of the best counselors here. We have Naila Clay, the Clay couple, just people who we have the resources. And like
Right.
you said, if you don't know,
Right.
that's why it's good to tell people.
Exactly.
Share, even on Facebook and stuff like that. Like, I know with Sister Naila Clay, like, she's a counselor and a marriage counselor as well. And everything she said to me at some point, like when we were all having like sister discussions, resonated with me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wasn't married yet, but I was like soaking it all in.
Right.
So just like, we have it here in Atlanta, and I'm pretty sure they might even travel, but there's resources out there, and Islamic resources.
Right.
Get them, y'all.
Yes.
And even asking your local imam, I'm pretty sure they, can
That's what I
recommend
was
you.
about to say.
Right, recommend you to somebody.
Right. Something that I really
Even
did
that, so
appreciate
yeah.
when I was getting married 2 years ago. Let me stop.
March made 2 years.
May.
May.
May will make 2 years.
May.
And then even
It was
with
on
my
the end month.
sister, so quick. Even with my sister when she got married last year, something that I really appreciated was the counseling at Atlanta Masjid.
Right.
So that counseling at first. Before we got married, I was like, we don't need counseling. I know you. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
when we had that counseling, I was like,
I didn't really know
I
you.
didn't think about that. Right.
I'm telling you, it's gonna be
Right.
things that you don't
It's a
think
lot
of.
of things that you
Yeah, that's what it's for.
don't think of.
Yeah.
And again, we are really blessed to live in this community where we do have a lot of good examples, and we have a lot of hands-on imams and resources, and some other people who are maybe in a small town that don't have maybe even a masjid.
Right.
There's always the internet, and you can always find someone through social media or email, and and ask Allah, to help you to guide you in that straight path of finding someone to help you guys out.
Yeah. So moral is counseling is a must.
Okay. I'm taking that into my notes now.
So there was another topic discussing cultural differences
Yeah.
between couples, and just finding
The common ground.
the common ground and the balance between the way you both grew up and the things that you both are used to.
Right, and it's not even just like cultural differences. It really can just you can be courting someone who's black, but you guys are raised totally
Right, the
different
upbringing
ways.
is different.
Exactly.
It's like,
Yeah.
I was telling someone else, I was like, there's of course one foundation of Islam,
Correct.
but
Right.
we were all taught like different etiquettes and different
Yes.
different sharias and
schools of thought
and everything.
Schools
Yeah,
of thought,
so-
absolutely. And that makes a difference. And I think that with that being said, with cultural differences, I first find out what is it. You know what I'm saying? What is the cultural difference? And don't be afraid to speak on it and discuss it.
Don't be afraid to ask those tough questions, because if it doesn't,
In the beginning.
if you're not
Yes.
talking about it now,
Yes.
it's gonna pop up later.
In the beginning, I'm there for the in the beginning. I'm that girl.
Okay.
I need to know, so we don't on the same page.
If you don't speak about these things in the beginning, like the most obvious
Right.
deal breakers, then it's
Yeah.
like once you start getting emotionally attached, and
The harder it'll be
for you to
to Yeah, so
to see the signs.
the
of
more
that
accepting
local
you want to
time
be
is
of it,
not
but the
that.
harder
Right.
it'll be because
The harder
now
it'll
you're,
be.
yeah,
Exactly.
but now you're emotionally attached and you're like, wow,
Right.
he got this, but
And that be-
he do this.
Right. Do I need to ask
Right.
for permission to leave the house every day?
Right, and I
What?
think, but religious, some religious, criteria is you can't compromise on. Some, you know what I'm saying, like praying. If you don't pray, it's
Right.
if you don't pray, you know what I'm saying. If you don't give your Lord His rights, you're not gonna give me anything. You know what I'm saying. So it's certain things we can't compromise on, but then there is some things that we can compromise on. You know what I'm saying. So it's just like find out from the beginning.
Right.
You know
That's
what I'm
what
saying?
like courting. Like when y'all courting, ask questions. Ask certain questions. Like don't be afraid to question. Each other because, like you said, you want to know like what they do and what you do, and
Yes.
that y'all have the same mindset on certain things.
Yeah. So you guys are saying, don't be scared to ask any questions.
Right.
Get to know.
Especially
Yeah.
about the upbringing.
Mm-hmm.
When the upbringing is different, I feel like every family, every household, the upbringing is different. So it's
Right.
always something that you can ask about the upbringing of the person that you are trying to marry.
And I feel like, especially as a woman, once you marry a man who is of, a different ethnic background than you, it's like once you marry him, his way becomes your way. His way becomes your children's way. So it's like, why not be more intrigued and show enthusiasm about learning and understanding your man? Like, that'll make him fall in love with you even more.
And vice versa. You need to,
Definitely.
learn the etiquettes and the way you do things. Right. The way you do things, okay? Because it's a two-way street. It's a two-way
It's a two-way street, but at the same time, like
Right.
what Ray is saying too, like just a piggyback, like he's the leader of the household. You know what I'm saying? Like
Traditionally, yeah.
So you want to at least come to where you guys, have that common ground. Like what I'm saying, alhamdulillah, you do this, and yeah, that's correct. You know what I'm saying? And we can do this. We can raise our children to do this.
Right,
you
and
know
I
what
think
I'm
it's
saying?
definitely important, especially when you have cultural differences. Like, for instance, if you're African American and you married someone who's traditionally from Africa, that you incorporate both. As one, as being Black American and then being an African, to incorporate that. You know what I'm saying? Because then those children are mixing between both, and they're able to share this side of you and that side of him, and it's just such a beautiful.
Yeah, because just like you may have some traditions that you would like to instill in your children, or anything morals that you want to instill in your children, he's gonna have some too.
Right,
that you guys want to respect of each other.
I have a Quran surah Quran ayah from Surah Hujurat stating, O people, we have created you male and female and made you nations and tribes that you may know one another. Verily the most noble of you to Allah is the most righteous of you. And here's a narration from Abu Nadra. O people, your Lord is one and your father Adam is one. There is no virtue of an Arab over a foreigner, nor a foreigner over an Arab, and neither white skin over black skin, nor black skin over white skin, except by righteousness.
So there's no racism in Islam.
Right.
There's no tribalism.
Do you hear the mercy of our
Right.
religion? The acceptance, like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? We don't see anything. We see Islam.
Right.
You know what I'm
First
saying? We see the
You're the
person.
most powerful God. You're Muslim.
Right.
That start. The Asalaamu Alaikum is when it started off.
Right.
Like,
That's beyond
you.
you.
Yeah.
And if there are people who are, trying to, shoo you away because of culturalism, that is unfortunately that is not Islam at all.
We definitely. I pray that we get past that.
Right.
That we still have it. You know what I'm saying? We can try to deny it all we want. We still have where some cultures are not accepting of other cultures. Muslim or not. And we just ask Allah that He ease the heart of those people and just accept everyone
and bring us together.
Right. So many couples are like, going through it like with their families and their parents because their parents or they don't like the culture of the spouse. It's the saddest thing.
I feel like that more so comes from a lot of like you said foreign Muslims. Like if for instance, I feel like the American Muslims, it's like, oh, he's Somalian, oh, okay, you love him, he's Muslim, he's Indian, oh, okay.
Right.
But when you dig deep into it, in a sense, it's like the foreigners are more so like, okay, do they understand our traditions? Are they able to respect our our cultural, our backgrounds? Are they able to fit in?
Or plain old, we want to keep it in the blood.
The bloodline needs to be clean.
Right.
And that's
true. But at the same time, you have to pick and choose, the situations that you want to be a part of.
Right.
And you can very well say, I don't really care what the family says and still join. But then you can decide, no, I don't want to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? Even though just that particular, because even though you might have it more predominantly in a, you know, in a Arab community or wherever where they don't accept us, but then you might have one family who says, what? You know, I don't mind if she's African American, bring her home.
And she is a Muslim.
And that's another example of like, I guess you could say racism in general. You have some white people who are like, oh, we're not for black people. Then you have some who are pro-black, you know? So it's you don't want to really put a stereotype on one group of people because there's so, you know, there's different opinions and different views and different feelings about this sensitive topic. So
it's so many.
It just depends on the person or the family you're interested in marrying. And what Tia was saying as far as being okay or accepting of his family not welcoming you. Right. That's honestly that'll really bring issues later on in the future within your marriage, because when we go back to having a counselor, sometimes it's good to sit down with his parents and your parents. That way you both have people who love you and who will guide you and tell you nothing but the truth and be honest with you. And when you're not able to sit down with his parents or anyone from his family, it kind of causes issues because it's like, I can't trust your family, they don't like me. So
you don't even want to you know, confront or talk to them about things that you're not trusting of what they say. But just keep in mind, like, when you have that racism, when you have hatred, you know, just know that that is a reflection of that person. You know what I'm saying? Something within them they dislike, their hatred of, and they're trying to put it on someone else. Hurt people. You ever heard that? And you know, they're miserable. They want you to be miserable as well. They don't want to see anyone happy. You know what I'm saying? This is just specifically the haters, like haters. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, man, all we can do is pray for these people.
Right, and ask Allah to make it easy for them. And definitely within those cultural differences, really as a man and the woman, really try your best to include the family as much as you can, and just know that you tried. Like, you know what I'm saying? If they didn't accept you, but I put my best foot forward and I put my hijab on real tight for them. I did what was right and made sure that, you know, you just really, and as the man, you really try to make sure their cultural differences, you know, are still in your family, as far as, you know, making sure that the kids know, you know, whether it's you speak a different language or you eat they know how to cook certain types of food, you know, just encouraging, you know, to, you know, bring that middle ground for both of you guys.
Like, well, Jada, I heard you mentioned that you were, you know, engaged or intended, just even though, I don't know, your spouse or your future spouse, he's not a different culture.
It's the same culture.
Okay,
Yeah, we got the same culture.
So how has your families been able to come together? Like, has it been an easy thing for
I mean,
all your family?
like, I feel like cultural differences it just depends on how you intake. Like, for me, I prefer my culture, like, I want the same person to have the same culture as me. So him, alhamdulillah, my spouse, has the same culture. And like you said, it has been easy. Like, our parents, you know, we all sat down and we all agree on everything. And alhamdulillah, like, we don't have it's a beautiful thing. Like, when that happens, you're like, wow, alhamdulillah. Like,
it feels good. It feels
right.
right.
Good, right. So it's like, okay, it's perfect. It fits. Like, let's move forward. So.
What about you, Rakai, as far as, you know, your husband is African from Nigeria?
Whoop, whoop.
Yes. Red, white, green.
We'll start right back.
But, so, I know before, you know, when we were intended, I was like, yep. I'm like African American, right? Like, duh. So, like, I started to speak to the mother and everything, and I started to speak to the father and, you know, my in-laws, and they were very accepting, because I've heard of a lot of stories where a lot of foreigners, they didn't want their children to be married to African American women. So I was like, oh God, like, you know, a problem that came, right. So I'm like, I don't know, but alhamdulillah, my parents accepted them, they accepted us, and you know, everything was easy. We made dua that Allah would make this easy for us. Alhamdulillah, that dua was accepted. Now we have a 3.5-month-old son, and now I'm just, you know, I'm trying to make sure that, you know, Yoruba some of the Yoruba traditions are instilled in our household still, you know, just because we're in America, you know, we still need to have some of those traditions in our household for our children, because I want them to know, you know, I want them to know about, you know,
Their ancestry.
yeah, all that.
Right.
So I wake up in the morning, I sing, you know, Yoruba songs to the babies. I think that, let me stop. But alhamdulillah, everything was easy for us.
That's good.
So, arranged marriages. How do you guys feel about that one?
Since we talk about culture.
Yeah.
Right, because you know some cultures are definitely more big.
I feel like it's more so a cultural norm than well, yeah, I feel it's more so a cultural norm because a lot of I mean, in some countries they do that over there.
Do you guys know anybody who's been arranged in a marriage before?
I mean, I know an older couple who has, but
nowadays the way we
I
do
know
marriage
one.
is honestly sometimes there's some like
listen, but look, we already talked about this. Even if we did have arranged marriages, our fathers would have a hard time finding the brother to arrange it.
That's not my business.
Right, look, she's sipping her tea.
Right. With arranged marriage, I just feel like it's just, you gotta come to agreement, like you and the spouse.
Yeah, because I mean, at the end of the day, you know, we discussed this too, that, you know, it's no marriage without the woman's consent.
Right.
Right? So, if father can bring you someone, you know, but you have to consent. You have to say you're...
Right.
So let's make this clear. Arranged marriage is not a forced marriage.
Right.
You have to have the consent of both parties.
Right. Correct.
Forced marriage is completely haram.
You don't
Arranged
you might, a lot of people think that.
Get that confused.
Yeah, a lot of people get that confused. They think that Muslim marriages are forced, and they're not forced. There's no marriage without the woman's consent.
And the man's consent.
So there's a narration from Abu. when you swipe to the left. So there's a narration from Abu Huraira. A matron should not be given in marriage until she is consulted, and a virgin should not be given in marriage until her permission is sought, and her silence is her permission. So I don't know. Has anyone else ever seen this? I remember going through the whole process when I was getting engaged and looking into the marriage steps and everything. There was like something saying as far as the woman's consent. Like if she smiles, that's her consent. If she's silent, that's her consent. You know, but when she literally has to say no.
Is that cultural? Because you know, with us, you need to hear the words
Right,
come out.
we need to
hear
yes.
Because I might be smiling at the sister at this wrong thing. Oh no, that wasn't for you.
I smile because it's sunnah. And then
No, I'm saying like as far as like, okay, you know how when you guys on the day of the marriage when you do the vows, and remember on my niece's wedding, and she was laughing and smiling, and the imam was like, that's your consent?
He did. He said, I know you. He's like, I know you ready now.
Yeah.
Right, but I thought that was a joke because me and my used to smile and laugh all day.
It was a joke, but he was
saying, your happiness and your smile tell everything.
Oh, that is her consent.
Yeah.
Okay.
yeah, think about it. If you were mad, you weren't happy, you wouldn't be smiling.
Yeah, you would be smiling.
Yeah, but at the end of that, he definitely still asks. You know,
Right.
okay. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Once you get to that platform, once you're, you know, at the
altar.
Yeah. Once you're in the mansion and inshallah you're ready, but they still ask. Like that just shows you the importance of the consent.
Right.
They still ask.
And that's why nowadays a lot of us have engagement parties and
parties.
where the families come together and they're actually they're like welcoming the consent of the marriage. So I'm sorry.
Absolutely.
I like the way you put that.
Which one?
Welcoming the consent of the marriage. That just
The
flowed
dowry.
very well.
I like that.
Do you have that dowry?
Right.
Yeah.
Right here, bro.
Girl, that's a whole other topic though, y'all. Like
that's for part two.
Yeah, that's for part two.
That's for part two, inshallah.
A lot to talk about.
I mean, marriage is such a broad topic, and there's so many
broad.
different things we can talk about within marriage, especially in the Islamic community.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? We can't fit that all in the video because y'all not finna watch the whole thing. So.
We gotta keep y'all attention as long as we can. But we know this is a huge topic, so we're expecting you guys to watch and chime in, inshallah. So I know that we're gonna get a lot of feedback on this, and we might just have to do a part two.
Right.
We're definitely doing a part two.
Okay, there you go.
Get ready for
There you go.
Yeah.
If y'all want to answer one last question, before we end this, of like, how have you guys, especially the ones who are married already, and you were married, how did you approach your parents about it? What was the reactions when you were
definitely need to talk about that.
Yeah.
That was a very requested. Sorry,
Right.
Sorry, I just started. You said it. It strike me.
Yeah.
Because we have youth who look up and they need to know.
Yeah.
It need to be talked about.
Because it's not talked about.
It's not. And see, that's the thing. That's what I was talking about. Like, as far as how do you go about presenting marriage to your parents? Nowadays, we become so ignorant and blind to the proper etiquette of the steps that you take for courtship. I don't know. Growing up in my community, most of the time, the brothers would come to our parents, and our parents would come to us, and then we'd go from there. Like, okay, you guys are interested in one another. They'll do the background research and everything like that, and then
that's pretty
if everything is cool, then okay, mashallah, we'll have
The
a
FBI database check,
Please
background check.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Like,
That's a
I'm
must.
truly appreciative, first of Islam, right? And then of this process in itself, to have our mahram father, i.e. whoever you have, your Muslim person, your brother who does that for you, I'm just so grateful, you know what I'm saying? Because we can't do it by ourselves, and even if we think we're gonna do the investigation part of it, some things as a woman, we won't be able to get that our mahrams should be getting. And shout out to all the good mahrams, especially their fathers and dads who really put in that investigation, because that is huge. Like, that's a part. It's no marriage without it, right? It's no marriage without consent. It's no marriage without the wali. It's no marriage without the witnesses and the mahram, which is the diary. So you know what I'm saying? It's just a different importance of the process that goes into marriage. Like, it's beautiful.
It is.
It's like so many people think they can do it on their own. Okay, I like him, found him on Instagram.
No boyfriend, no girlfriend.
Let's get to know one another. Then they.
I know what he do.
Not
connection.
Instagram.
I love him. Follow up on IG every day. Shout out to them.
Right. But make sure you have a
Shout out to them.
Make sure you have a mahram or somebody who you trust to fact check.
See, like
Definitely.
the way my engagement process went, his sister actually asked me to marry her brother. And yeah, I felt like special, like, okay, sister asking me to marry her brother. But on Eid, his father and his mother approached my parents. So his Ummi approached my Ummi and, told them that they were honored to have me as a daughter-in-law. His Abu and he himself, they went to my Abu. And from there, it was like, okay, he's interested in marrying you. How do you feel about this?
How long did you get to know him before you got married?
I was engaged for 8 months.
Okay.
Our families knew one another from way back in the day, so it wasn't like we were foreign to each other.
Yeah.
But he and I didn't know one another personally, but throughout the 8-month engagement, we kind of, got to know one another.
And I asked you that because it's another question that, a lot of people ask, and a lot of younger people ask, like, what's an appropriate time? And in Islam, we believe that, once the match is found, you get married.
Right.
But that's not to say how long you can, court for it. You need as much as time. Everybody needs a different amount of time. And that's what I always say. I'm like, whatever is appropriate for you. And I say just court until you know.
Until you know.
Until you know.
And get those signs. Don't forget about praying istikhara.
That's
That's that last step, which is that prayer where you ask Allah specifically to show me, is this the right one for me? And if he's not, bring me someone better. Or show me the signs that he's not the one. I make that prayer. Like, I'm not even playing with you guys. Like,
share it. People that can really help you.
Be specific in what you want and your preferences and everything, because Allah will definitely give you what you ask for. And if you ask for, give me a fine Muslim brother, He's gonna give you a fine Muslim brother.
What come with it?
Who doesn't work?
Come with it?
All that
Can't support you.
Basically.
What comes with that? And that's why when you're so specific in your du'as, which is nothing wrong, if you know for a fact there's certain things that you like and don't like, you can be specific. But I always tell people, like I do, talking to myself first, to ask Allah for what's best for you.
Right.
I promise you, you don't even know. Like, you don't know. Even the married and the unmarried. You don't know. Like, Allah knows what's best for you. Like, you know what I'm saying? So you just ask for His infinite mercy.
You want that love and that partnership that's going to make it to the heaven's gates with shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
Right.
married in Jannah.
Inshallah.
No hardship.
During marriage, during the courting thing, always between you and your spouse, put Allah first. Like, always continue to make your prayers, because Shaitan is lingering. Like, he's gonna try to, you know, mess up what y'all have. So just continue to pray, and like you say, make alright, and just keep putting Allah first, because that's very important.
Right.
within the
Keep
marriage.
Islam as your foundation.
Right.
Yes.
Always.
Use that to mold.
Right.
That's the guy. Like,
That's the number one thing.
yeah, because really sometimes, you know, it's like that can be an issue, like,
Right.
because you're like that foundation part of it is what sometimes is not solid, it's
Right.
not concrete, and if you have Islam, like, you got the most concrete,
Right.
you know what I'm saying, foundation. It's just a matter of using it, implementing it, and
Right.
understanding it.
And
So-
Allah will give you your answer because He gave me mine. Okay.
Right.
That's you know.
Oh,
That's
okay.
a part two. If y'all want to know what that is. But no, so Allah really will answer your dua if you really ask Him
Listen,
and
when I
really
say-
be
when Allah
specific
says Allah
and
answers
sincere.
du'as and more, like, I can definitely attest that I've asked for things and Allah gave me more
Exactly.
than what I asked for. That's how I know, like, He knows
He's real.
what's best for me. Like,
Yes, He
you
does.
know, and if something doesn't work out, Allah promised that was, you know, what doesn't, or what, you know, what's not, what doesn't
For
work
you.
out, or what doesn't work out. What, I'm
Guys, come on.
trying to get the word. I'm trying to get the word.
What doesn't work out is
What Allah takes from you, He will give you something better.
He will. He will.
That's,
He
and
really will.
that could be for anything. You know.
I have one more point to make, and then we can go ahead and introduce the Black businesses. When we were speaking about the shaitan getting involved and in between things and the months, how much time you would speak or be engaged. Be mindful that during the time of Prophet when marriage came about, they got married the next day somewhat. During that week, they had their dowry, they had things put together and everything, and they kind of, like, as far as the time length in between, I guess, getting to know one another, they kept it short, because sometimes Shaitan is able to swizzle his way right in between things, and whether it be problems or situations that happen between the both of you or the family members or anything, stuff happens. So, I mean, I'm not saying limit yourself and be in a rush to get married, or you just found somebody for marriage and you get to know him for a month and then get married.
I mean, the fact of the matter
just
is,
try to be
you know,
open-minded and careful of how long you do get to know someone.
Right.
Marriage is
You don't want to
protection.
be.
You're not gonna get to know someone within 8 months anyway.
Right.
You got this nigga from experience.
No, I'm just
she's figuring out, but but
That's
true.
true.
How
that's
much
true.
are you really, and then you don't move in with your spouse until you actually married.
Right. You
That's
can't
when
do
you
that.
really get
And
to
then
know
certain things that you like. When it's more time, is then y'all gonna want to do more. Like,
you're gonna
You get
feel
really
like
emotional.
when you feel that,
Then
then
it's like,
that's
when it's
time.
It's irresistible.
It's time
I
for you
really
to
like
marry.
you.
Like,
I really want to
protect yourself.
I feel like
Protect yourself.
before you
Right.
get emotionally invested, you know what I'm saying? Get to know each other.
Thank you.
If this is the
Thank-
person,
yes.
then marry him.
Yes.
Because
Right.
once you know,
Yes.
once you just get emotionally invested, it's hard. You know, Allah may show you a sign and it's not the one, and it's like.
I'm gonna start over.
You know, like you gotta start over. You just that's
Keep your intentions good. Keep your intentions good, and do it, going into it for the right reasons. You know what I'm saying, and really knowing the importance of marriage is half our identity.
Right.
Like,
It's a serious matter.
You know,
Right.
you know. So just know that whatever does not work out, Allah has something for you. If it is what it is, Allah is in control.
Correct.
So if it doesn't work out, it's not for you. You know what I'm saying? It's no use of being depressed about it. It's no use of trying to figure it out. It was not for you. And usually you'll figure it out later. You know that look back and you be like, ooh, I got that.
No,
It happens, man. So I just pray that Allah bless us all.
Right.
You know, with you guys already in the process and having them, Allah continue to give you those blessings and allow us to
make
find
it
righteous
easy for you.
spouses.
Right, inshallah.
I'm still looking for your African Ray. I got you.
We got those.
Yeah, alhamdulillah, you know, this marriage conversation definitely is not over. We definitely have a part 2 coming up, inshallah.
We gotta do that for you.
And I definitely want to thank our panelists because, you know, we're all speaking from experience a little bit. And so to wrap it up really quickly, we have our Black business shout out from on IG at All Eyes on Me Beauty Bar. All Eyes on Me Right. All Eyes on Me Beauty Bar is founded by Elena Mohammed, a Black Muslim woman, of course. After years of struggling with many different hair salons, having to insist on taking them to the dark, secluded section of the salon where no men were in sight, and not getting the best of services that fits her needs, she decided to open up her own beauty bar where she created an atmosphere where women came and felt comfortable while beautifying themselves in the best way. The salon offers hair services of all types of hair, which is important, makeup and henna services, as well as lash services and classes. It's located in the west of Atlanta in Mableton, Georgia. All Eyes on Me Beauty Bar aspires to elevate women to be and remain at their best. So, alhamdulillah, that's definitely something that we need. Remember, guys, if there's something that is not there, make it yourself. Create it for yourself.
Yeah, you can take a trip there, y'all.
Right, I know y'all did lashes. Okay, I might come there.
Yes.
We have another one. Her name is Suleiman. Her business name is Yarn-Tastic Crochet Boutique. She sells crochet items that are crafted with perfection and love. Her business is Black owned, Muslim owned, and all items are handmade. Her business IG is IM_Yarn-Tastic. Her Facebook page is Yarn-Tastic Crochet Boutique. Of course, we'll provide all of the contact information in the description below, their Instagram information as well. We'll shout them out on our Instagram page.
Right.
Be sure to follow that. Stay tuned for future updates.
Listen, we send the businesses y'all way, and definitely our last businesses, they received business from our shout outs. So send your businesses, guys. We will shout you out.
Yes.
We will put you in our videos, and we want to send business to all our Black business Muslim owners.
Definitely support. So real, so important.
Absolutely.
But,
Thank you guys so much for all the support for my last video for my Instagram. We really, really appreciate you guys. Keep up the great work.
Keep
so we can keep up the great work for you guys as well. Inshallah, we have events coming up for Ramadan. And we'll definitely let you guys know about that. Inshallah. So
keep liking, keep subscribing, keep following, keep sharing, guys. Thank you so much.
Keep letting us know what you think. Keep commenting. Let us know what you want to hear.
Share with your grandma and your aunts and stuff like that. Everybody.
Oh, your mama and them?
Your mama and them. So I think that's a wrap, you guys.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Asalaamu Alaikum.